there's a few things about Wayne County wrestling that you'll never get away from. They're going to try to get the double underhooks. They're going to try to throw you, and chances are you're going to get up getting pinned. Our guest here today is one of Wayne County's 11 state champions. Sir, if you would, tell us who you are.
Tyler Pace, heavyweight 2010.
And, of course, you are the heavyweight state champion from Wayne County. And we've got, so far, we've got Kagan Wallace on the channel. We've got Chris Floyd on the channel. We've got Travis Sullivan on the channel. Lloyd Sparks was in the 1999 finals. He's on the channel as well. So, Wayne County, man, got a great tradition. The Cardinals down there. So, Tyler, man, we know about Wayne County's tradition. We'll talk about their state champions a little bit more. But what got you into wrestling, man? Was it just, growing up in the community? Did you have family that wrestled, or how did it go?
No, I didn't have any family wrestled. Nobody ever had before. It's kind of an odd story, actually. I was a football man. My dad was a football man. But he died when I was in the 6th grade, and football was kind of going down the toilet. Man, I was ready for some changes. So me being a little pudgy kid that I was, man, I walked into the mat room for the first time, and I don't know why. Maybe I'm just a glutton for punishment. I got beat up a lot, but man, they couldn't chase me out of the place, and it just ended up working out.
And let's see, I'm trying to think here. 2005, 2004, you would have been probably starting wrestling, correct?
Yes, sir, somewhere around there.
So you had, Buddy Dodd won it in 03. Of course, Travis won it 05, 06, 07. Joey Sanders won it in 05. So you had some great people to look up to, or I guess in the mat room, you know what I mean, coming up as a 7th, 6th grader, whatever. So I guess did you play football in high school? Because Wayne County, man, they've got a pretty good football tradition as well.
Yeah, I played some in high school. I took my freshman year off trying to focus on getting better on the mat. Mm-hmm. But I don't know, I kind of treated football like a vacation, if you will. Yeah. I enjoyed it. But man, I wrestled to win. I ended up being a little better at that.
No, I get it, man. And my freshman year of wrestling, we had back when it was districts, then regions, we had the regional tournament at Wayne County. And if I could be mistaken about this, and you can help me, I think we weighed in your all's mat room. Is that like kind of back behind the gym or under the gym or something to that effect? Is that right?
It was. That's actually where I started out too.
Okay.
They have since built. They've got them a facility separate now. They shared football locker room. I remember. I don't know if he said it when you interviewed Chris Floyd, but when football season was in, or when it was AAU time in the summer, we would actually go and practice in his basement.
Chris might have said that, but I don't remember. I've done your video number 318 so far in the series. So, they call everything kind of jumbles, but we actually come down to Chris's house there in Monticello and we done Chris's too, and then Lloyd's right there in Monticello. I forget the name of the place where Chris lives, but I'm sure you probably know what it is. But okay, I didn't know that Wayne County had got a new. Of course, it had been, as of this is July 1st, 2024. It had been 24 years since I'd been down there. So I guess time for an upgrade. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let's talk real quick about Wayne County's history. They're state champions, if you will. Now, Chris Floyd, as he just mentioned, broke the glass ceiling, if you will. 2-time state champion heavyweight, 1998, 1999. I still say that Chris Floyd and Joey Steps videos that we've done with each other are 2 of my favorite of the entire series. If you haven't watched those 2, go back and watch them. They're great videos. Chris, of course, wins it. Joey was the only person probably in the United States that could beat Chris that year. Both in the same district, same region. They met in the state finals. It's a great match. It's a great story. It really could be a movie, like a Hallmark movie, but if you haven't watched them, go back and watch those. Doug Upchurch, 2001, 103 pounds. He was an absolute animal that year. He won the most pins in the least amount of time. Buddy Dodd, 2003, 152 pounds. Buddy, if you watch this, man, reach out to me. We're trying to get a hold of you so we can do your video as well. Joey Sanders, 2,535 pounds. Joey, he beat Gareth Headley from Henry Clay that year. It was a great match. I was there for that. Of course, Travis Sullivan, three-time state champion, 05, 06, 07. In 05, Travis won the most pins in the least amount of time. And in 07, he had the quickest pin of the whole tournament with 7 seconds. Of course, you in 2010, and then Kagan Wallace, 2017, 2018. Just some absolute hammers have come through Wayne County. And of course, we don't, it's not that it's not from a lack of not wanting to, it's just the other state placers, the runner-ups, the third, fourth, all the way down to eighth. There's just so many of them for each school now. It would be more video of me talking about the state placers than it would be talking about the whoever we're doing an interview with, whether it's Tyler, whoever it may be. So we kind of just stick to the state champions. But Tyler, man, let's talk about your state tournament run. You got to participate in the state tournament for 5 years as an eighth grader, eighth grade all the way through. You made it. 2006, 215 pounds. You make it to the state tournament as an eighth grader. You get, of course, you don't place, but you get some valuable experience. There's an old saying, you either win or you learn, man, in your eighth grade year. Only being a couple years in, it's a great learning experience, man. Being there at the dungeon, seeing the light, seeing the spectacle, it's a lot to take in, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. And there's some things that you'll never forget. Stepping up in that place in the eighth grade, like a deer in the headlights. Yep. It didn't last long.
The dungeon, man, it was such a special, which you guys will see the video. Of course, we have the video, but just under the lights, all that, it was just a complete, it's what a state tournament should be, or back then when it was at the dungeon. 2007, 215 pounds as a freshman. Again, you make it, another learning year, but from there on, man, you're on the podium. 2008, 215 pounds. You come in fourth place as a sophomore. And actually that year, you tied for the quickest pin of the entire tournament for 14 seconds. So those Wayne County guys, y'all can pin. I'm telling you, I don't know the stat, but I would have to imagine Wayne County has one of the highest pin ratios in the entire state tournament history. I don't know that. That's me speculating. Just, I live on this side of the state. I see Wayne County a bunch, regional tournaments, state tournaments, whatever. And there's always probably more pins for Wayne County than just about any other team that you'll see. So what makes Wayne County's style of wrestling so special? I mean, what is it that, because you guys have such a very unique style down there. Is that something you guys, that Upchurch just instills in you guys, or is it just something you do on your own? How does it go?
Well, Danny's a very old school guy, man, and shows everybody enough to get a foundation for sure. And you can take that and add whatever kind of flavor you want to his wrestling doctrine.
Yeah.
That's what I credit it to. He's my favorite jerk in the world, man. He will take you all the way to the end of yourself, and then he'll take you a couple inches further, and he'll do it every day till you all right at it.
Yeah, no, and that, of course, I mean, people are screaming at their phones, screaming at their computers, TVs, wherever they're watching it, going, Alex, of course, the whole goal of wrestling is to get the fall. That's why, that's why you learn all these techniques. But there's something, though, about nowadays, kids are learning to scramble. They're learning how to scramble at an early age. I'm talking doing the youth state tournament, middle school state tournament. There's better scrambling now than there was even in high school up probably to about the 20 teens. But Wayne County, man, they're not out to scramble. They're not out to look anything fancy. If they can pin you in 8 seconds, they're going to pin you in 8 seconds. If they can pin you in overtime whenever, they're always looking for that fall. They're not looking for style points. They're not looking for be the most flashy. They want to, throw a half, throw a tomahawk, whatever you guys call it, cowboy, and goofy foot, as Travis Sullivan made famous in 05. Whatever it is, if they can throw you, they're going to throw you. And as quick as they can get a fall, they're going to do it. And I have a lot of respect for that style of wrestling. But again, 2008, turned 15 pounds, fourth place as a sophomore, tied for the quickest pin. 2009, again, 215 pounds, a junior, you come in fifth place. So, man, you've been on the podium twice. You've been there 4 years. Coming into your senior season, 2010, you've been 215 pounds for the last 4 seasons. Did you have a big weight? Like, was you thinking about going to 215? Did you just want to stay heavy? How did it go for you?
Well, our heavyweight at the time actually dropped out of school, and 215 was actually getting to be a pretty tough cut. I'd come out of football, almost 250, and I wouldn't have very long to make it down there. There were some really difficult cuts.
Yeah.
So it just kind of worked out. My ballooned up, man. I gained all kinds of weight that summer, and I was tickled because Danny still made me run. But yeah, that's kind of the story there. Just stayed at 215 for the team, and then as soon as I got the opportunity, man, I stepped right up in the 285.
No, hey, I get it, and it is a big cut. I mean, you hear not just you, but guys throughout the series that we've done. We've done a lot of heavyweight review videos, and you hear guys talk about coming out of football season, being around the two. They could make the weight, but it'd be a tough cut. And they was like, I was not cutting weight. This was my senior year. I'd cut weight for 6 years, 5 years, whatever it is. I was either going to be heavyweight or nothing. And sometimes, man, you just know your body. You know what I mean? You just know where you're going to fit in at. I'm comfortable at this weight. If I drop some pounds through conditioning, if I drop some pounds through just normal practice, that's great. But I'm not making a cut 40 pounds just to go back down to 215. I like that mentality as well. But 2010, though, man, 2010, 285 pounds as a senior, man, your last shot to do it, your last chance, and you make the most of it. You start off the state tournament with a 1:13 fall over Joey French from Louisville Valley. You win a 16-second fall over Trey Beal from Cooper. That's in Northern Kentucky. You get to these quarters, you actually wrestle a former referee buddy of mine, Glenn McFrost from John Hardin. Glenn comes in fourth, but you win a squeaker, man, a 5-4 decision. Talk to us, Bear. Was it just
man, I don't mean any disrespect to anybody, but I think if Glenn would have been on the other side of the bracket, it would have been me and him in the finals. I got a lot of respect for that man. It had been a while since we'd seen each other on the mat, and like we grabbed hold of each other. And I think we were both a little surprised about, what grabbed us back.
Yeah.
A lot of respect for Glenn, man. That was a tough one. I remember it to this day. I think that, I just had a itty bitty bit more gas in the tank there at the end. I remember yanking his head down and using what little speed I had left over from my 215 days, to get around behind him. But I got a lot of respect for Glenn. He's a solid guy.
Yeah, man. Glenn, great wrestler and great. He got to officiate the state tournament a couple times, so he's put his dues in the sport of wrestling. You get to the semis, you're wrestling Trevor Ford from DeSales out of Louisville. You win that by another fall. 3 minutes and 14 seconds. Trevor goes on to get 6th place. Then you get to the finals. You're wrestling Adam Brown from South Oldham. We're not going to tell you the result. We have the video. We have the match video and the medal ceremony. So Tyler, man, has it been a while, a day or two since you've seen your finals match?
Man, I haven't seen it since it happened. I think it's on a tape somewhere, but it's been long since been lost in the shuffle.
Well, we are going to correct that right now. All right, you're seeing what we're seeing. This is what you're looking at right here. At the dungeon, there was an old video board, like a big projector, like an old school projector they would have up. And this is now they have at the horse park the big video board. But kids, ask your parents what a projector is in case you don't know, because that's what we grew up watching in school were projectors like this. So you're coming in undefeated, 34-0. Adam's coming in 40-8. Had you guys wrestled before?
No, sir. I don't believe I'd ever seen Adam before.
Okay, you answered my next question is, did you get a chance to scout him out at the state tournament beforehand, or was it just, I know what I'm good at, I'm going to do it and let the chips fall where they may?
Yeah, it was more that second one.
I got you. No, hey, sometimes, man, you're a senior. This is your fifth time at the state tournament. You're undefeated. Like you said, for the last 5 years of your life, you've been pushed every day to the end of your rope. Then you'll go 2 or 3 inches more. I mean, there's not a whole lot that you can see or happen to you that's probably not happened in practice, not happened in a match. So sometimes it's best to come out and say, come at me. Let's see what you got. You know what I mean? All right. So we're going to go back to a cold February night in Frankfort, Kentucky. Man, let's go. Of course, you're in the black singlet there. If you're back to us. So you lock up right out of the gate with him. What was your go-to takedown, man? Were you a thrower? Were you a shooter? What are we looking to do here?
A thrower. You wouldn't catch me shooting, man.
Okay, I just was curious because. And Danny's back there in his normal position. Lean back, hands crossed. You've got 2 good friends of mine out there as officials. Jeremy Callan is your head, and then Rocky Durham right there is the assistant. So, really good refs.
Oh yeah, man, I owe them a lot too. Just,
all right, so right there you get a slide by, go behind, you get 2. And it looks like right out of the gate you're going for half. Adam's headgear comes off. A little bit of a stop in action there. Let me turn the volume up just a smidge. There we go.
Ogilvy had a shot for 3.
Sometimes you got to be a good referee and help people with their headgear. I've done it a bunch of times. All right, so he's down. You're on top. Are we looking to finish this as quick as we can here?
Honestly, partner, I don't know what I was thinking. There was so much adrenaline pumping through me. I did not intend for what happens next.
Right here?
It just happened. Yeah.
And you got the crowd pumped for that one? Right to his back? There it is, man. You win it by a fall, 1:18 seconds. Finish your season 35-0, heavyweight state champion. Here's the medal ceremony.
From Montgomery County, Will Fawns.
Oh, that lift and return right there, that was just adrenaline taking over, huh?
Yeah, and like I think shoulder pretty bad. I did not mean to. I promise that was not something. I wasn't dirty like that. I wasn't gunning for it.
Hey, man, sometimes in wrestling, there's a reason why we have injury time. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's 2 equally sized competitors competing in hand-to-hand combat. You know what I mean? Sometimes injuries are going to happen, whether you meet them or not. There's a Glenn right there.
Yeah.
And of course, Brian Harlow got upset He was the returning state champion from 2009. Did you ever get a wrestle Harlow?
I did. And part of the reason why I was 35 and up, having 70 matches like everybody else on my team is I actually missed half this season.
There
you are, man. Getting your medal, your plaque, and all that. Got Coach Bancamper from Campbell County giving you your medal there. A lot of respect for Mike Bancamper.
Ladies and gentlemen, your 30-pound state medalist.
And that's where this one ends. Watching it back, man, dominant. You know what I mean? Dominant. Does it play out the way you've kind of remembered it over in your head for the last couple years?
Yeah, it's about how I imagined it was going to look. I was a lot thinner. That kind of took me by surprise.
Hey, it happens to the best of us, man. You know what you do. You know what I mean? Like I said, man, straight dominant performance. You could tell that you'd been in big matches before. You could tell that you had maybe not been under the light, but you had seen the spectacle. You'd seen it before. You didn't look nervous. You looked like you were ready to go from as soon as the whistle blew, and it showed. You know what I mean? So, man, you have anything else you'd like to add, say, take away, anything of that nature? Tell Chris Floyd how weak he is. You know how? No, I'm kidding, Chris. You know you're my buddy, man. You're my buddy.
Yeah. So I think by far, I'm probably the least of all the people that have won it from down here in Wayne. And I just lined the right way, man. I'm glad those fellows didn't call me for an illegal slam. It's all I can say, I think. But I guess if I had to tack anything else on, I'm thankful for all the investment that Danny sunk into me. I'm thankful that I had a team around me, people that would push me. Like there was a lot of discipline that went into that. And being a good wrestler can go a long way into being a good man.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. I'm more grateful that Jesus found me after everything was said and done. Like Danny shaped me as a boy, Jesus shaped me as a man.
Yeah.
But that's about all I got, brother. Unless you got some other question.
No. I think that's a great way to wrap the video up. This kind of echo on what you said. So many guys, and of course, we have girls wrestling, and this being the first year, it's kind of hard for a freshman or a high school age young lady to say they're shaped into a woman. Maybe if we revisit them in 20 years or something, they can say what they learned about wrestling. But man, one thing that I love about this series is, and I've said it in so many videos, is if you ask whether they're a dad, a husband, stepdad, whatever, grandpa, whatever the case is, if they have made a family maybe they have chose to be single, or maybe they've started a career or some type of entrepreneurship, and they say, what's more important, Tyler, being known as a good dad and a good husband, or being known as a state champion? You're probably going to say 35 billion to 1. I would much rather be known as a good dad and a good husband than I ever would want to be a state champion. But if you ask, like you said a second ago, if you ask Tyler Pace, hey man, what made you into the man you are? What got you from boyhood to manhood? You can say, I'm a state wrestling champion. I know what my best was. I was able to prove it on a cold February night in 2010. I take the lessons I've learned from my coaches getting beat up in the mat room, and I can apply that now to life in general. being a good dad to my kids, being, I don't know if you coach or not, but going and, being a coach for the youth team, like you said, letting Jesus shape you how he needed to shape you. And we don't wear our medals around, we don't wear our rings or Letterman jackets all the time. But if somebody asks you, hey, tell us your story, man, what got you where you are? I'm sure at some point you would probably bring up, I'm a heavyweight undefeated state wrestling champion. And that carries a lot of weight, man. It really does. And with this series, so many people we've done videos with had been out of the sport for a while. They're back kind of coaching, maybe got started up with like an elementary or youth team, or their kids or stepkids, whoever it may be, have saw their dad, stepdad, uncle, whoever it may be, on the series, and they're like, oh my gosh, I want to do what you do. So they, take them to practices. And I saw a couple people that we've done videos with, their kids are into it now. And I'm like, that's what it's about, man, is, this was me in school. This was me now. I was that. I'm this now, but I can be both. I can be known as a state champion, and I can be known as a good dad and a good husband. And I think that's a great thing about what we're doing with this series. So Tyler, man, I appreciate it. I really do. Thank you to the people in Wayne County that got us linked up. Hopefully we've got some other Wayne. We're trying. Joey Sanders, if you watch this, reach out to me. Buddy Dodd, reach out. We can get your 03 video done. I want to get as many Wayne County guys on the channel as I possibly can. So Tyler, man, I believe we reached a great ending point. Thank you for doing this. I really appreciate it. Thank you all for watching. We will see you guys and girls on the mats.